Tonight, as inflation rises, the economy stalls, the border spiraling way out of control in the middle of a pandemic and COVID-19 mandates. Now there's talk tonight, we may have to push that back. The recognition that there are tens and tens of thousands of crucial workers that have decided they're not going to agree with it. Regulations having no end in sight. Biden's poll numbers plummeting to the mid-30s, and now yet another all-time low. According to Gallup, since taking office in January, Biden's approval rating has now plummeted a whopping 27% with independents. Other polls have his approval rating in the mid-30s. There's not a single thing that Joe Biden and his administration can claim as successful for you, the American people. And now we have a frail and a weak and a cognitive mess and a deeply unpopular president desperately trying to sell his insane Build Back Better New Green Deal socialism that he claims falsely that won't cost a single penny. Needless to say, it's not going particularly well. Take a look.
Know the little expression, time is money. As one computer said, if you're on the train and they say Portal Bridge, you know you better make other plans.
All right, there you have it. According to Biden, we have to pass Build Back Better socialism because, quote, as one computer said, computer, not commuter, if you're on the train and they say Portal Bridge, you know you better make other plans. Now, after stumbling and mumbling and bumbling through his prepared remarks, Biden once again told the same long, rambling, debunked story about Amtrak, now for the 5th time. And he just keeps lying. Take a look.
And Ange walks up to me and goes, Joey, baby, grabs my cheek, and I thought the Secret Service was going to blow his head off. I said, I swear to God, true story. He said, Joey, I read in the paper, you travel 1,200,000 miles on Air Force planes because they keep meticulous tabs of it. So the boys and I figured out the retirement dinner. He said, you traveled 2 million, I think it was 180, but 2,200,000 miles.
Only problem is that never happened. According to multiple fact checkers, Joe's story is not true at all. And yet here we are listening to the same long BS for the 5th time here. And, of course, the Biden administration, they have no problem lying about anything and everything. Remember Mayorkas? Yeah, the DHS secretary lying about the border crisis, calling the mass migration. This is only a seasonal problem. Jen Psaki circling back with the lie about the border crisis. Migrants don't need to be tested for COVID. They're not planning on staying here very long. And then she lied about, we're dispersing people all over the country at 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. In the middle of the night. That's not the middle of the night. That would be called an early morning flight. I've flown a lot. That's actually not true. And Biden lying about COVID-19, declaring that he could beat the virus as president. He told that lie a lot. Also lying about leaving Americans behind in Afghanistan 13 days before he did it. Lying again about the number of Americans he abandoned. We have a full report tonight coming up on that. But, of course, Biden is also lying about his Build Back Better New Green Deal socialist spending proposal by saying the $3.5 trillion price tag actually costs $0. I'm not sure what calculator he's using. That's about the biggest lie of all. Also promising not to raise taxes on anyone making under $400,000 a year. Well, that's actually a couple, so it's $200,000. And according to the Joint Committee on Taxation, the original Build Back Better New Green Deal socialism would hit Americans making under $50,000 a year the hardest, with a sneaky provision targeting those who deposit small sums of money into their own bank accounts so they can spy on you. Now Democrats have come up with a new idiotic tax scheme, a levy on unrealized gains. In other words, phantom money, money that you might make in the future after you get money, your money is taxed, you invest your money, you buy stocks or some type of other asset. But don't worry, the Biden administration is promising that only the super wealthy will be affected. This was another lie. Take a look.
I think what's under consideration is a proposal that Senator Wyden and the Senate Finance Committee have been looking at that would impose a tax on unrealized capital gains on liquid assets held by extremely wealthy individuals.
All right, you really believe her? Because according to Democrats, this would only raise $30 billion of the $3.5 trillion that they want in new spending. So will they extend this new tax to institutional investors, meaning all of us? In other words, will they include pension funds, 401ks? And by the way, what would happen if an asset that they say is a capital gain eventually depreciates or your stocks go down? I mean, the market could have an adjustment at any point, right? Will the government hand out billion-dollar checks to billionaires during a recession? Even the Washington Post is trashing the plan, saying, quote, Biden's latest tax-the-rich scheme would be an unworkable and possibly unconstitutional mess. That's to say the least. Now, it raises a ton of questions, but don't expect any coherent answers from Joe, because today he bragged to a group of preschoolers about his strategy: always avoid answering the press's questions, which he probably is the one thing you could say he's successful at. Take a look.
You know, when you're president, see all these people here? They're with you all the time. They get to ask you all kinds of questions, and you try to figure out how you can avoid answering them sometimes. Anyway.
Oh, I'm sure the kids got that joke, Joey. According to the RNC, Joe Biden has not held an official press conference in over 100 days. Well, we all know the answer why. He's not mentally or physically capable of conducting a lengthy presser. Forget about late afternoon. If you ever tried it at night, it would be an unmitigated disaster. You don't need a medical degree from Harvard to figure this all out. Biden is also desperately trying to avoid being held accountable for all of these many self-inflicted crises that he caused. Remember, the economy is a disaster because of him. Gas prices are spiking dramatically because of him. Energy dependence is back because of Joe. Not good for national security, not good for the economy. There's a massive worker shortage, all because of Joe Biden. There are nationwide supply chain disruptions because of Joe Biden. The Afghanistan withdrawal was a disaster, one that could easily have been preventable. Same with the southern border. It's in chaos because of him. Every single one of these crises easily preventable. But Joe Biden and his minders on the radical left are either unwilling or unable to do the right thing. And coming up, a new report on the latest migrant caravan. Yep, they're making their way right to our border just to be processed in and dispersed in an early morning 4 a.m. flight, as Jen Psaki says. And we have a shocking new development tonight out of Afghanistan. Pay attention to this. We'll have it in a minute. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.